What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this one here, we're going to be comparing both of Yelena's uniforms because that was requested by a few people, so I figured I would do that because I was actually really curious about how her black suit would perform, because based off of just reading the skills and my initial impressions in the lab there, or the skill preview, I thought that the black suit wasn't going to be as good as we would have liked for PvE. Like, I thought it was going to be a really big damage bump, but I didn't think it would be very good for survivability, and I thought that she would get a lot of her skills canceled out because she was losing that invisibility that she had on the snowsuit here, which kind of kept the world boss kind of locked down and prevented them from moving, so that she could take advantage of that, because her skills kind of root her in place a little bit. When you proc on the 4th skill, you don't move around, you're just stuck there in one position shooting your guns, so you don't really want the world boss to be moving out of that zone, because then you're going to lose a lot of your damage. But after playing with the uniforms for a little bit now, especially the black suit, because I only had the snowsuit to start with, so the black suit was new for me, I found that the black suit was performing a lot better than I was going to give it credit for in PvE. I wasn't really running into many of the problems that I thought I was going to run into, in terms of having like the boss canceling out a lot of my skills, getting guard broken, dying a lot easier, all that kind of stuff. Didn't seem to happen like I thought it would, and that's mainly due to two factors. One is the paralyze. If we hold on, do I have this one? Yeah, let's equip the black suit here, go over to the skills. Is the paralyze on the 5th skill. So you have 3 seconds of paralysis, and that actually really helps. It doesn't necessarily help you, of course, with your first skill rotation, but after your first skill rotation and then you get that paralysis, it really helps with the survivability, because then the boss is paralyzed while you're waiting for your other skills to come off of cooldown. So while you're kiting around or running around, it helps with that 3 seconds of paralysis, so the boss isn't trying to attack you while you're kiting around and that kind of stuff. So that helps with their survivability. And also, it seemed like the boss wasn't really jumping around as much for some reason, because a lot of times I have my skills canceled out very easily when I'm using characters that are rooted in place, but for some reason either Yelena with this uniform has a really big kind of targeting range, so that when the boss jumps away she can still target even at distance, or the boss just doesn't seem to move as much when I'm using her skills. I don't really know, but I wasn't really getting my skills canceled out very much, so that was good. And also the damage bump that I saw was very significant here with the black suit versus the snowsuit, so that was actually very impressive. I wasn't expecting to see kind of that much of a damage bump, but maybe it could be from the build here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our build before we hop into some gameplay and show off each of the uniforms. I just have one skill cooldown Uru here, and that was just to get her to max, because I was only like 2% shy, so I figured I might as well just put one Uru on her. I have all of her skills leveled up here. For her ice weight set, we have overdrive. That was just the first one that I rolled. I think power of angry Hulk might be better for her to get that attack speed, because she doesn't have a lot of it natively. So if I go over here, I'm only at 127 for attack speed, almost 128, so we're 2% shy of maxing it, but I have quite a bit of attack speed on my cards, so yeah, so if you don't have as much attack speed on your cards, then you're going to find it a little bit harder. So Power of Anger Hulk is probably the better option for her. I went ahead and used ACTP of Energy just because I was very impressed with how Yelena plays in general, so I figured I was going to be using her a lot, so I decided to give her ACTP, and this will synergize quite well with the black suit in particular, because they both have chain hit damage. Because if we go over here, the main difference between the uniform is going to be this one has chain hit damage, some ignore defense, and then over here we have ignore dodge and decrease all damage received, so you can kind of see the difference there. Of course, in the skills themselves, she has a higher accumulation on the black suit here, from 80% all attack to 100% all attack, and then also she has a bigger bump in all attack and a crit rate boost, so she's going to be capped out on crit rate very easily with the black suit. With the snowsuit you can get pretty close to cap, but it's a little bit harder if you don't have crit rate already on your cards. All right, so now that we've gone over enough of that, let's go ahead and hop into the gameplay and show you the difference in damage between these two uniforms, and also how to play them in terms of survivability as well. Alright, so here we are at Proxima. We're only going to be doing a stage 50. Yelena is only level 60 because I haven't unlocked her potential yet. The main thing that prolonged this video was actually getting her to tier 2 because I did go the long route and just use the monthly bioslub bios to get her to tier 2, and it took almost the entire month. So luckily I was able to get her to tier 2 with 1 day left on the uniform sale. So yeah, hopefully this will give you some more information if you haven't already picked up one of the uniforms, if you were still waiting on deciding what you want to do here. So this is the team we're using. We have Beast and we have Taskmaster. We're not going to use any strikers here, mainly because Yelena actually has everything that we need. She has all defense down and she has the paralysis. Well, not on this uniform, she doesn't have the paralysis, so we could use a mind control striker when we're using the snowsuit, but when we're using the black suit, it's better not to use a mind control striker, so you can just go with all DPS strikers. So you're going to switch on over here, pop our invisibility, go into the 5th skill, wait for that red ring, and then cancel into the 4th skill. As you can see, Proxima just sits there the entire time. Let's not get time frozen here, and doesn't really move around, so we can get all of our damage. That is, of course, if our CTP happens to proc. So let's go in again. There we go. As you can see, the damage is still really good. But when we switch over to the black suit, you'll see that she is definitely missing a little bit of damage here. So yeah, we get one more rotation here, and then we should be able to, whoops, I missed the 5th skill there, and then we should be able to push her to the next phase change. If I didn't miss the 5th skill right there, probably would have pushed her to the next phase here, getting into the 11th bar. Yeah, there we go. So it took almost a minute there. We'll say like 50 seconds, maybe 45 seconds to get to the phase change. And now let's go ahead and switch over to the black suit, and we'll see the difference in the damage. Alright, so now with the black suit equipped, it's the same rotation. We're still going to be doing 3-5-4. But with that extra chain hit damage, that extra accumulation, and that extra all attack that she's getting, we see a pretty noticeable difference in the damage. So here we go, and boom, look at that damage ramp up, even though Proxima was moving around a little bit, and there we go. See, she's paralyzed right there, and it helps me to, oh, well, I messed up there. I need to cancel the 3rd skill right away, or else we get some damage from the 3rd skill that does actually activate or proc our obelisk here. So we do not want that. And here we go, and just, yeah, the damage, well, she did move away a little bit there and cancel out her skill, but we still got more damage than we were getting with the snowsuit. So here we go, again, yeah, just look at that damage, it's so nice, and that paralyzed, I really like the paralyzed. Again, I would like the paralyzed to be kind of during the 5th skill, because then it'll keep her locked down and we don't get those kind of movements that she had, because we're missing out on a little bit of damage there that we could otherwise be getting if we had her locked down in place, because as you can see, like 2 of the rotations that we had, she moved a little bit out of the way, so she wasn't actually standing directly in all that lightning that was on the ground, so that was actually reducing some of our damage, but we didn't really lose targeting, which is nice. So if we go again here, see if we can get a little bit better, keep her, yeah, see if you keep her in place and she doesn't move there, that damage is pretty nuts. So here we go, let's try this again. She just stands there. Yeah, look at that, almost just 2 rotations right there, and it got her to a phase change, whereas the snowsuit was taking like 4 or 5. Yeah, look at that damage. See, that was a lot better showing. That was Proxima not moving as much. That damage is crazy, and as you can see, the survivability is just fine with this uniform, thanks to that paralyze or paralysis at the end of the 5th skill. That just really helps for the downtime, because she has damage immunity on the 4th skill, so you're pretty safe while using the 4th skill. Even if you get guard broken, you're still going to luckily not be taking damage. So that's what really helps here with the black suit. So overall, yeah, like I said, they're pretty different. So if you want to do PvE content, pick up the black suit. If you want to do PvP content, pick up the snowsuit. If you want to do a little bit of both, the snowsuit could probably do both a little bit better, just because for PvP, this uniform's not going to be nearly as good, because that invisibility is what really makes Yelena like super powerful in PvP. So you kind of just got to weigh out how important she would be to you in PvP versus PvE, because if you're going to be doing both PvP and PvE but you want to do really well, or you're like in Vibranium and you're trying to push a little bit higher in PvP and you just want to have her as another option for if like one of your main characters for PvP is banned or something like that, then you're definitely going to want that snowsuit. But if you're kind of just not really competitive in PvP, you just do it just to get the clears or something like that, then the black suit should perform just fine for you and you'll be able to do very, very well in PvE content. So hopefully this short, brief comparison here between the two uniforms helps you in deciding which one you want to pick up. I'm actually very happy that I ended up getting the black suit, and it's thanks to you guys commenting that you wanted a comparison between the two uniforms, because if you didn't say you wanted the comparison, I would have just stuck with the snowsuit myself. I wouldn't have actually picked up this black suit here, but seeing how much damage the black suit does, I'm actually very, very happy that I picked it up. So I definitely don't regret buying either of these uniforms, because I do like both of them. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the uniforms. Let me know if you found different results and which one you picked up, if you were happy with which one you picked up and all of that. But that's going to be it for this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.